We are back, dear viewers, to your show Good Morning Kuwait, and now we will go on with our first interview segment. Mohammad Ajrash is a visionary leader committed to advancing Kuwait's future. He holds a degree in international business from the American University of Paris and has further honed his expertise at Harvard University. As the founder and CEO of Kuwait Space Company, Mohammad is now channeling his extensive experience into a noble mission, establishing Kuwait as a leader in space technology and independent space telecommunications project, ensuring a secure and innovative future for Kuwait. Hello and good morning, Mr. Mohammed.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. We are glad to have you here in the show to talk about Kuwait Space Company. Tell us about Kuwait Space Company and what inspired you to start this company.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you very much again.
You're welcome.
Kuwait Space Company for research and development in the field of space and astronomy, with a strategic approach on the space telecommunication sector.
Yes.
Space telecommunication quite important for today's modern era, especially that we are living in an era of digital transportation and connection. Globally speaking, all nations are switching to and relying on connectivity for the national development. Therefore, space telecommunications comes to an extreme important for the country's development.
Yes.
Furthermore, if you allow me to elaborate, what is space industry? Well, the space industry is considered to be 5 branches. We are talking about telecommunication, space telecommunication branch, climate and environmental observation branch, GBS branch, military and defense, and the 5th last one is planetary exploration. The first one is space telecommunication. In order for a country to enter, we need to choose this branch first as an entry.
Is it hard to go into this branch? Because I know that space telecommunication is very important for any country to stay away, to rely, to empower the country, right? Is it difficult?
Everything is hard, but
manageable.
Manageable. Nothing is impossible as long we have the passion and the inspiration for it. Especially that we are lucky here in Kuwait to be inspired by the leader of Kuwait, His Highness Sheikh Mishal Sabah, and beloved Crown Prince, His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al Khalid. And actually, His Highness Crown Prince Sheikh Sabah Al Khalid was the spark for us of motivation during his role in the pandemic, where he also switched the digital transformation for Kuwait. As a company in the private sector, we need to be parallel to the country's strategy. Therefore, in terms of difficulty, it's not anymore, especially that the international community is approaching toward this segment. Thank you.
So how do you see space technology contributing to Kuwait, a new Kuwait vision of 2035?
Absolutely. Let's talk about what is a vision, first of all, a national vision, which has multiple components and variables. We are talking about economic diversification, sustainable economy.
Yes.
A vision is to develop different sectors, including health, education, financial institutions, and to link all the sectors together to facilitate and to bring efficiency to both the private and the public sector, along with the community. How it would contribute, since today world is relying on connectivity.
Yes, of course.
The space telecommunication is a necessity for the increasing demand, and by doing such, entering the space telecommunication segment, we are assuring that the vision meets its standards. Adding more, the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs Office had emphasized that space telecommunication is the driver for sustainability.
Yes.
Because the whole world again depends on telecommunication, and we need to secure this segment in order to reach the vision and a sustainable economy.
Yes. No, you know, to talk about space technology, this is a very sensitive and very difficult subject for everyone to follow. You have the experience in this field. So they say that in maybe less than 3 years, 2027 or maybe 2028, the world will change. The technology will have, they call it super technology, if I am not mistaken, another technology. So we need to digitize everything. So in order to, if we know that this thing is coming, and you are telling me that space technology is very important, tell us more about this subject, because we don't know what is coming. Only the experienced people know, which is you, Mr. Mohammed.
No one knows what is coming next, because the whole world is accelerating in terms of technological
Scaling,
advancement.
Yes.
At rapid scale, indeed. Therefore, space industry would allow further research and development. It will foster innovation, and this is what we need to foster innovation in order to keep up with the advancement. In terms of what is coming next, people talk about AI, but AI is ancient now. What is coming next is quantum computer power.
Which is we don't know anything about. We just learned about AI, and now you're telling me that there is something else coming.
Correct.
And we are not that old. So I remember when computers started, it was exciting, it was good. Now it's not as exciting. It's changing every 3 months. So in 1 year you can have many technologies, new technology, innovative.
Indeed, and this is why we should not only focus on emerging technology, emerging economy and technology, but also to create knowledge-based economy for the nation by harnessing and bringing the knowledge needed for the future generation to be at highest standards and to keep up with the international community.
So the purpose of this company, and now let's talk about, is it essential for Kuwait to stay independent in terms of telecommunication? How important is it? Can we rely on other companies maybe?
Sure. We should be relying on many companies, not one company.
At least we want Kuwaiti companies.
We are talking again about emerging economy. Emerging economy is a market that has certain criteria and potential, but not fully developed. In order for an industry to be developed, it needs a cluster of many companies and government working together in order to fully develop this industry. Why do we need it? Again, because of the approach where the future is going in terms of communication, the reliance on communication, and in terms of also economic diversification, that will bring a great efficiency and to cut down costs.
So are you telling me, Mr. Mohammed, that it's a necessity to have a space telecommunication company here for Kuwait? It's not a luxury. We must have it because it will be very important in the future.
It's crucial, and let me give you this example. I would like you to think of the space telecommunication infrastructure in Kuwait, which is a ground station of space telecommunication with an owned space geostationary telecommunication satellite. Would like you to think of this infrastructure as an electricity power plant that is necessary to be locally established in Kuwait in order to give the power for the to meet the demand.
Makes sense, yes.
The infrastructure is the same. There is an increase of demand and needs of connectivity. So we need to have a local, reliable source of telecommunication in Kuwait to give the people and all the sectors the requirement that is needed, rather than to be 100% relied on foreign network source.
This is why it's for the economy, it's good for us to have a space company, because will contribute to the economic diversification of Kuwait.
Correct. And the economic contribution for this industry is not only for the government, but also for the private sector, where startup companies and established companies can be collaborative on cost-effective measure rather than having a foreign subcontract with international suppliers.
But it's, you mentioned something about the infrastructure. Is it feasible to have it here in Kuwait? I know that it's good for us in the future. Is it feasible to have it for, because we don't know what will happen in the future in terms of technology, but we are certain that we need this space telecommunication, right?
I will tell you this, 2 points. Is it feasible? It's more feasible than it was used to be 20 years ago. The international space industry cost had been reduced 70% rather than what it used to be. So the cost of it had been reduced 70% due to the multiple international players, companies that had entered and created a good cluster for this industry.
Yes.
So the cost is 70% less than what it used to be.
Yes.
Another point. So space telecommunication started in 1964. 5 years after it started, Kuwait had already entered the space segment by establishing and creating Al-Aish space station.
We are pioneers.
In
Always,
1969. That was pioneers indeed. That was only 5 years after the establishment of the space industry. Sadly, the station was destroyed in 1990 during the war. So Kuwait already has its fingerprints in this segment. We are not creating, we are reviving the history of Kuwait
Something
in the space segment for a beautiful future.
We are here in Kuwait. It's in our DNA to be pioneers in all fields.
Indeed.
Yes. So now for the next steps for Kuwait Space Company, could you tell us what is the next steps?
As for the next step, we are finalizing the final research and the plans to establish the space telecommunication infrastructure, start the construction, finalizing the bureaucratic process with the government. We are receiving potential and inspiring shared inspiration with the government to assist on the next step, and by doing so we are guaranteeing the future of sustainability and economic sustainability to Kuwait. We are at the final step and hoping that we will be sharing the
Inshallah.
good news of the launch soon.
Inshallah. And I have a last question about NASA. Now, when we talk about space, let's talk about NASA. Now,
Of course.
the expertise of this huge company, which is the pioneer, this is the true pioneer, which is NASA. So what is the things that you can learn from them and can implement in Kuwait?
Lovely. I can learn from NASA a lot, but I can also learn who competed with NASA. 10 years ago, an aspiring person called Elon Musk had competed with NASA from scratch, and he came with zero knowledge, and now he is a pioneer in the space industry. So in order how to compete with the world, we are also relying on experts, consultancy firms that had also assisted our neighboring countries such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, to find their, to establish and find their space program and space agency. It is very important for us to collaborate with consultancy firm, as they are the experts rich with knowledge, to give us the guidance on how to compete in this complex industry.
Indeed. Of course, Elon Musk is the ideal example of this chat, and you are, Mr. Mohammad Ajrash, will be, inshallah, the next Elon Musk. Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you very much, and Godspeed to all.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless.
That
Thank
was Mr. Mohammad Ajrash, co-founder and CEO of Kuwait Space Company.